The Ferrari of Air Jordans is back in a brand new colorway that I did not like when I first saw images, but these are nice. Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and review on these bad boys right here. This is the Air Jordan 14 in a brand new colorway dubbed Flint Grey. Not a new color per se, but definitely new for the Air Jordan 14. And before we get started, if we can get our algorithm gang active and ready down below in the comment section, I would greatly appreciate it. Without certain engagement tools like liking the video, subscribing to the content or the channel, and leaving comments, then YouTube doesn't push the content. Therefore, we don't get seen by the masses. So if you could just do me that one quick favor, that would be awesome. And with that being said, this is the box. It's a play on the original Air Jordan 14 box, which I do so happen to have right here. So obviously they switched up the colors of the emblem or the logo over there to more match the product that's inside, whereas the originals were all like this. They were just straight up silver with a red Jumpman.
It's beautiful.
But as far as the original Air Jordan 14 is concerned, it was a 1998/1999 model, most well known for being debuted within the NBA Finals in 1998 on the feet of Michael Jordan. Obviously, he was not supposed to wear them yet, but he did. I mean, he's got the same exact syndrome that most of us do, new shoe syndrome. You get them, you gotta wear them. I mean, it is what it is. And they came out in a bunch of cool colorways, I think, at least as far as the original releases are concerned. However, something that they did the year prior, which was the Air Jordan 13, they had what was called the Flint Grey colorway. Most known for being a white and blue based sneaker, but the mudguard or the synthetic suede panel was all Flint Grey and everything like that. What I loved about the 12 and the 13 was that they had almost the same exact colors from one year to the next. So we had the taxis, and then we had the black toe / he got game 13s. We had the white and red / cherry Air Jordan 12s, followed up with the white and red / cherry Air Jordan 13. Now the Air Jordan 14s did start off strong. We had the black toes, we had the white and red / candy canes, which mimicked the white and black / black and white or the white and red colorways of the previous 2 years. But then when you went further down the line, there was a black and red, which was the one that he wore in the finals. But then there were some random colorways like the Gingers, the Laneys, the UNCs, even though the UNCs you could loosely tie to the Obsidian 12 and the Flint Grey 13s. But then we also had colorways like the Indiglow and stuff like that. So it wasn't quite a copy and paste like the 12 and 13 model was when moving on to the 14. However, you fast forward to 2024, we finally have a Flint Grey colorway. There's no blue on this one, but it still looks really good. In fact, it reminds me of like the Cool Gray or Wolf Gray or Stealth Gray, whatever it is that you want to call them, whatever gray colorway that you prefer within the Air Jordan line. This reminds me of that, all wrapped up in one nice package. If you did want a brief breakdown as far as what I can remember previously releasing on the Air Jordan 14 in terms of gray shoes. In 2005, we had the Chartreuse pack, which was actually a pack of 2 sneakers, but sold separately. I had the white version. It was white black with a chartreuse green, really cool colorway. And then the gray version was gray black with the same color green as the accent. Then in 2011, we had the graphite navies. I never ended up owning a pair of those, but they were super nice. Like that upper was just money. And then in 2014, we had the Wolf Gray 14s. Not quite as nice as the previous 2, but still a cool looking colorway nonetheless. Now again, fast forwarding to 2024, Flint Grey makes its way onto the model. And yeah, I did not like these when I first saw them online, both in official images and in renders. It wasn't until I got them in hand where I was like, these are nice, man. Like they really did a good job on these. I can't even lie. So on the outsole, we have herringbone from top to bottom. Super simple, super easy. I really like this. I think that it looks great. On top of that, it still mimics that car theme. So this was modeled after Michael Jordan's Ferrari. And with that, there are lots of Ferrari isms in here. Even though not officially tied or collabed with Ferrari, we got slapped with a cease and desist. You remember that? And I told them to go kiss my ass because we didn't name the shoe. That was one of the weirdest things. I literally got hit up by Ferrari's legal people, legal team, because we had a video / article on the website and the YouTube channel on the Air Jordan 14 Ferrari. And they were like, hey, you can't call it that. And I'm like, says who? So yeah, I told them to go knock on Jordan Brand's door. Obviously, nothing happened. But like I said, the Ferrari-isms are still on the shoe. You have that tread pattern that wraps all the way up to the back heel and everything, so that was supposed to be kind of the tire tread for his fast-paced game, even though he was slowing down quite a bit. This particular release does see a chrome return on the shank plate and everything, so we've got a nice chrome shank right there. On top of that, when you look at the medial side, you got an air scoop in there with an actual air vent, just like the original, which is awesome. And it's actually not covered up with the insole, so that is a good move right there. Now, in terms of cushion, the retros are different than the originals, so we're gonna break that down real quick. This is a pair of originals from the 1999 release, and when you look at the insides, right here, we've got a very low profile Phylon midsole. This thing is awesome, super thin. I love seeing stuff like this because you get to see how low to the ground you actually are. A lot of people always talk about court feel, or like, oh, these shoes feel too high off the floor, things like that. Most of them aren't. It's just that it's just, you know, not natural to be inside of footwear. So sometimes you can feel really elevated and everything, even though you're really close to the ground, or at least closer than you think. But anyways, this was the original cushion setup. So we had a heel zoom air unit, and then the forefoot. This is original articulated zoom. This stuff is awesome. It was not durable, but boy, was it comfortable. And as you can see, it covers up a large, you know, area of the midsole and everything like that. So I think this is dope. The closest thing to this is actually those zoom units that are used in the newest KD models. That one uses a 4-foot zoom strobel and everything like that, and it's like this, where it takes up the majority of the 4-foot space. The difference being it's not articulated, for one. For two, it's a hell of a lot thicker than this thing. Now, these retros are not made like the originals as far as cushion. So this is from the 2005 retro run, and this is exactly the way that these newer ones are set up. So if you look at the guts on the inside, you still have that heel zoom unit, but the 4-foot units changed. They no longer use those original articulated units. I'm not exactly sure why. I would just assume that they just weren't durable, so maybe they were tired of trying to fulfill like warranty issues. But this is the setup that we have now, and this is the setup that they've had since 2005 until present day. So whenever you buy an Air Jordan 14 retro, this is what it's like, rather than what the original once was. But yeah, so while they're not exactly the same as the original, still a super comfortable shoe and a great on-court model on top of that. I probably wouldn't play in this particular colorway just because it's so nice, you know what I mean? Like, the materials are super elegant and everything. Although, if you like that on basketball shoes, which I do happen to like, then maybe this could be a cool option and everything. It's just not gonna be as breathable as something like the leather versions with the perforations, the ribbed versions, if you will. Now, speaking of the upper, they're buttery, okay? So we've got the darker grays on the toe and the heel, and then the lighter gray at the midfoot panel, all of which is suede though, which is really cool. I will say that the darker gray suede is slightly longer haired, but not by much. The tongue is not the same material as the rest of everything. It's microfiber, so it's a synthetic material, just like the originals and all of the subsequent retros, with the exception of if you were to take an original leather pair. These actually did have leather tongues and everything like that. Also, some people like to say that the tongue heights are like too tall on these retros and everything, but when you compare them to the originals, they're actually not different heights. It's just that the original is way smoother looking. Like, these have a weird puff to them. Like, there's like air in there or something. Like, it just looks weird and fat. These are super thin. So yeah, those kind of things can like mess with your eyes. I say this all the time with color placement, where colors will make certain mud guards or toe cap areas just look thicker than they actually are. And I think it's just an illusion. Like, we're seeing color and not necessarily panel measurements and stuff. You know what I mean? Because like, these things are all die cut. Like, there's no way to make them different unless they physically go and make them different. One thing that's different though is this bar right here. It says Jordan on one side, XIV on the other. A lot of the originals were wrapped with the fabric and everything like that, which is super cool. These particular ones are not. This is not something that was a through line throughout. Like, I believe one of the originals, I think it was the oxidized green, which was an original colorway, but they did not have the wrap around here. And on top of that, a lot of the originals, like these tongues right here, or this bar on the tongue, is hard as you can't bend or maneuver this thing whatsoever. This one though, it's gummy. Not gonna say it's good or bad, it's just different. And for those of you guys wondering, this is the insole, and if you were gonna compare them to the originals, it's almost the same thing. So if you like that, then you're gonna love this. This is up to date, by the way, with all of the retros. I don't think I've ever bought an Air Jordan 14 that didn't have an insole like this, with the extra foam pads and stuff like that. As far as fit is concerned, they do fit true to size. Whatever you typically wear, that's exactly what I would order. Again, I think that these are super comfortable, so if you've never owned a pair of Air Jordan 14s, this might be the colorway to try it out if you like really nice colors and gray shoes and stuff like that. If you were in our area, which is the Sacramento area, and you were interested in grabbing a pair, they will have them over at Phenom, so make sure that you check them out. They're in the Doco Shopping Center right across from Macy's. We'll also leave their website link down below in the description box, just in case you're not local but you still want to check out what they might have as far as their inventory is concerned. Now, with all that being said, do we have a question of the day?
Yeah, we're gonna keep it short and sweet. What is everyone's favorite cereal?
I don't know.
What? I even know yours.
Is it my favorite or is it one of my favorites?
I know, but I would put this definitely in your top 3.
Is it O's?
Yeah.
It's one of the cheapest cereals. It's like on the top of the shelf. Nobody ever sees that thing.
And it comes in the tiniest box.
It does. They don't make them big enough. You know what I mean? Or the package or whatever. That's what she said. Haha. But yeah, man, those things are And roof of the mouth shredder uppers, but boy are they tasty. What is your favorite? Or actually, can I?
Yeah, I have two, so.
One of them's gotta be Cheerios.
Yes.
And then the other one?
Life.
Life is good too. But anyways, with all that being said, sound off below and let us know your thoughts, not just on the shoes, but also what is your favorite cereal. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, let us know what you think about these down below in the comment section. We'll catch you guys on the next one. So until then, have a good one.